Moan, snacking, and singing. You guys get moan, snacking, and singing live.
It is my anytime we do the show, it's my eating time, honestly.
That's how I feel. I'm always going to the fridge right before the show.
Well, this is a good one for me. This is like the diet that I'm on.
Yeah.
I got like set times I eat and stuff like that. Now it's like my snack bar time of the day. And I really enjoy this. And today I'm a little bit more hungry. By the way, down 61 pounds, DK.
He said munching on candy.
Right now, this is the one snack bar I get, man. Jeez.
Oh, I see. This is the exception that you get. Kind of like my son and I are going to stop at the milkshake factory on the way back home.
DK,
but it's my exception.
That right there, though, that's unfair. That's not any other milkshake factory I know except for in Pittsburgh, man. Come on, man.
The one downtown.
I guess we should start the show since we're talking about.
Yeah,
All right, well, I'm gonna hit the bell. Go. All
right. I just thought of the coolest thing. You know the phrase "jump the shark"? You've heard that one?
I've never heard "jump the shark."
Jump the shark means it's a reference to Happy Days, sitcom in the 70s, where Fonzie, the main protagonist in the show, the whole script just goes too far. Okay, he's going to get in a motorcycle and he's going to jump over a pool of sharks, right? So the common saying after that, and this actually was born way after the show was off the air. The saying was that you jump the shark. You've gone too far. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like if you put the cast of Cheers on a cruise ship. Okay. It'd be like, whoa, hang on a second, man. Just keep them in the bar in the basement in Boston. They don't need to be going anywhere. Do you follow me?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Here's what I've got here. Okay. This show will have jumped the shark when Ramon sets his ringtone to the theme. Like when Ramon is just sitting around and his phone's sitting there and the family's about to have dinner and everything, and it goes boom, 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 boom. And Ramon's like, oh, hey, that must be for me.
That must be. There's only one. There's only one person that ringtone should be ringing for, and that is myself, DK. You're 100% correct, man.
Oh, no.
Jumping the shark.
Randy says, looks cold in Pittsburgh. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Is it? What's gorgeous in Pittsburgh? Explain.
It is 80 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, zero humidity. Why do I have the hoodie on is what Randy's asking. That's because we put the AC on here to make our customers feel comfortable as they're coming in, and the AC blasts in the back of the place.
Hey, you know what? I can sympathize with you on that one, DK. Because my day job, man, like I'm in between like weathers right now. We're actually having listen to me, I'm going to say this real slow. We're having a real spring in Tennessee. It's actually been like 80s for like the last like month. You hear me? Like high 70s, low 70s, no higher than like 83, 84, 85, DK. We go usually from cold to hell. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take this, man. Work me into summer then, and I can really appreciate it because I tell people this all the time. I used to hate the summers. Absolutely hate the summers. The weather, I hate it. You want to know why? Training camp, that'll break you.
The only time I'm ever in Nashville, it's wintertime because I'm either there for Predators or I'm there for Titans.
Yeah.
The only time I was in Nashville when it was hot was when the Penguins were beating the Predators in the Stanley Cup final in 2017, and it was June, and it was really hot. Like Nashville gets bad.
Like that's been one of my biggest adjustments, DK. No lie, is getting adjusted to actually enjoying and liking the summer. I hated it because I trained out here also. And it was humid as heck, and then it would just be hot for no reason, man. God.
Yeah. There's been some news on the Steelers front over the past 24 hours. Nothing particularly compelling. There's not anything massive. Here's what I wanted to talk to you about today, Moan. This team and this quarterback in particular Okay, yesterday we talked about some of the disparities between the outside perception of the Steelers and the fans' own perception of the Steelers. What do you think that Kenny Pickett and or the offense as a whole needs to do to get people to pay attention to them? And I'm not saying they're there, and I'm not saying that they already did that.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We saw some late rallies.
Yeah.
Okay?
What they need to do
Mm-hmm.
is just simple, DK. Those primetime games, win them. Those playmakers that we think we have, make plays and make Sports Center. That's the buzz in today's NFL. Why did James Harrison become a household name? Right? Because he was out here giving people work on Monday Night Football, on Sunday Night Football. That Steelers defense had more eyes on us because of what? Because they used to just take people's heads off. I say that figuratively, but it looked like it at times, right? Why was the offense as heralded as it was? Because Ben used to just shake people off of them and extend plays. It was exciting. That's what has to happen. Like, that's one thing I did see our members yesterday kind of say a little bit, DK, like, yeah, we got all of this and we got all this potential and talent and my expectations and what we talked about. Remember, we did the win-loss thing a little bit, just like for the first 10 games after the bye week. Mm-hmm. It came down to, but are we going to win still? Like, that's the reality of it and how you win too.
Yeah, I was going to say winning in and of itself is not sexy. Winning in and of itself, I'm talking about strictly from a perception standpoint.
Yeah.
Where you say, whoa, wow, but the Steelers have Kenny Pickett the way the Bengals have Joe Burrow and the way whatever else, okay? I feel like it's going to be a hard slog in this regard. And here's why. What did we see that we really liked about the Steelers in that 7-2 run? Offensively.
Offensive. A run.
The running game.
We saw running. Yes.
What have the Steelers committed to this offseason even more?
Running the ball.
They're running the ball.
Running the ball, DK. Go ahead. You got more?
No, just what happens to Kenny is either he's going to be labeled a game manager. Everyone pictures Trent Dilfer. But what actually is this? You know, how can Kenny make a name for himself?
Quick pro tip: a lot of quarterbacks are game managers. Mm-hmm. They are. They should be. They are game managers. I know what people are looking for when they try to use that is they're looking for the guy that's the gunslinger, the Patrick Mahomes, the creator, right? The Tom Brady's, the Drew Brees types. Like, those only come a dime a dozen. And I'll be honest with you, I think we got spoiled in Pittsburgh by saying that too. You know, by having a playmaker, a gunslinger like Ben Roethlisberger behind the center and offensive line. This is what I will say about that, DK. Two things. First one is this. I had a back and forth with a guy today who's a Cowboys fan. I know what you're probably thinking. Mon, why are you wasting your time on Cowboys fans anyway? Right?
Right.
And to your point, though, DK, he did say this. He was like, who's your quarterback? And I said the exact same thing to him. Who the hell is y'all quarterback? Like, what is a Dak Prescott? Like, it's the same thing they're going to say about Pittsburgh until Kenny either becomes a gunslinger or he wins a few game-winning drives. That matters too, DK. So, with the idea of people not really respecting what Kenny Pickett is, not respecting what the offense is going to be capable of doing, what matters, though, is the wins and losses at the end of the day. I love for Kenny to be a 5,000-yard-a-year passer, right? But the way you're right, this team has kind of shifted its attention as it stands right now. We may be run first, but let me ask you this, DK. I'll just bring up this topic. So the fact that you don't know what you're going to get out of Kenny Pickett, the fact that you don't know if we're going to have a 5,000-yard passer the way we have with Ben Roethlisberger, right? Mm-hmm. Are the Steelers ahead of the curve or joining other teams that are run-first teams? Are we getting back to an NFL that says, we got to find a way to govern, put a cap on how we pay these quarterbacks? They're a little bit too important to what we are. DK, the one thing you do is shift it towards the running game. We're going back now to the early 2000s, late 90s, when the running back was numero uno. And you have, if not one, but two of those guys in Pittsburgh that can run the ball well with an offensive line and blocking tight ends right now.
Yeah, and I feel it's worthwhile pointing out here from my own standpoint that I'm not talking about the Steelers caring about this. I'm not talking about Kenny Pickett caring about this. I'm just talking about it as an off to the side discussion here.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hard for Kenny's rep to become, well, look, he's just another one of those guys in the AFC North. He's right up there with that group. I don't buy that. I'm getting stuff from here. Slack Evans says, "What? No news. Mitch extension on the way." I've got Fast. Says Mitch extension. He's a backup quarterback. If you want to talk backup quarterbacks, call a radio talk show. All they know are the names of the quarterbacks. Call a radio talk show.
Yeah,
we're in a little bit deeper here. Okay.
Yeah,
we're in a little bit deeper here. Am I wrong about this, Bob?
No, you're not wrong about it, but I'll say this about Mitch's extension. It's probably more cap friendly. We speak about that too.
It is.
It's more cap friendly. And this is what it also says too. Mitch, we just signed Mason yesterday. You got a decision to be made. Do you want a job and take a pay cut or not? Like, that's what it really boils down to. You have stability. You got a 1, 2, and 3 right now inside of that building, inside of Pittsburgh. That, to me, lends itself to say that room is taken care of. Have we ever met a Pittsburgh Steelers team where it was this shored up as far as depth? I don't know what the depth going to look like, DK, right? That's fair to say. What is this offensive line going to look like?
There's depth.
But there's depth, right?
Yes.
I don't think we've seen an offensive side of the ball in Pittsburgh still a history while I've been there to where it's been this deep. To me, you just got a better, deeper room. Break it down to me, DK, if you see it this way.
I get a little cringy because of wide receiver.
What wide receiver?
Okay,
yeah.
I'll at least throw out there that, with running back, we can talk about Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren as a pretty impressive one too.
Yeah.
I don't know what 3 and 4 is right now. Is it Anthony McFarland? It's not Benny Snell. And remember that whenever somebody was needed in the 2022 season, who got the rock? Benny did.
Benny did. Yes, he did.
And did well with it. Okay? So I don't know. I'm not going to go overboard with, but offensive line and quarterback.
Yeah,
they're
set. Tight end too, DK. I would throw that one out there too. Tight end also.
Tight end is a very good one.
Tight end also. But to answer your original question though, DK, what is this offense outside of Pittsburgh to people, or what does it need to do to improve?
Yeah. Or Kenny.
Or Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny to me outside of this room is a guy that was drafted in the first round in a bad quarterback year. There was no other names to compare him with. He's following behind Ben Roethlisberger's legacy, number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a task in itself. So I got to ask our listeners too, DK, our members, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the expectation for Kenny post Ben? Like, that is a real question that the fan base has to answer. Me personally, 35 plus 100 yards a year, DK. Depending on what the offense looked like under Matt Canada, we always have to throw that out there because Matt hadn't given I know a lot of people say, oh, Matt Canada again, but Matt Canada hasn't given us much to look forward to in this process, right? So it's fair to ask that question. 3,500 yards, I would say if he can get us 20, 25 touchdowns under double-digit interceptions, DK, that's real. His stardom and how that moves forward, DK, is yet to be seen. Because if we're winning, and he's labeled as a game manager, but he can make those splash plays, he can make those chunk throws, then what does it matter to him?
I know. It's just we haven't seen those, okay? We haven't seen those on a consistent basis. I still feel like, in general, we all talk about this offense as if it's some sort of formed thing that's shown itself to us. It's not. We've seen the running game be mostly consistent against certain opponents. We have seen a nice finish from Kenny in big situations. That's encouraging. Okay?
Yeah.
But the whole, and the coordinator, which also can't be left out of this.
It can't not be left out of it, DK. That's tough because Kenny's situation does have a bunch of buts behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because last year you said we didn't see it all. Last year, DK, well, guess what? It's clear that they kept the governor on his play selections anyway, though. Mm-hmm. What I was encouraged by was his ability to roll out of the pocket without catching concussions. And when he came back,
even to the left,
it was there.
Yeah, he throw against his body from the left. He was able to do that at Pitt really well. I thought that would be something that would translate to the NFL for him pretty smoothly, and it has. Tico Robinson has all the answers here. Tico says 25 touchdowns, 3,500 yards, 10 or fewer picks, and about 400 to 500 yards rushing for Kenny. Oh, he doesn't say it's a prediction. He says it would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
It would. I don't think you're going to see Kenny regularly getting into the 300 range.
Yeah. So
meaning 300 yards per game. Sorry.
Well, we said that last year too. And this to me is, I got Brent Fraser, who's at the big guys table, man, at the big dogs table. You hear me? That's the portion of it right there. Why I said those game-winning drives. Game managers don't come from behind. And that's something where, honestly, coordinators and also the head coach too, got to be okay with doing this. Letting go. Like, it's one thing to know you can do something and you think your person can do that right, but it's one thing to actually allow them to do those.
Letting go within reason, because as Teresa points out, we need to see the development of actual route trees for wide receivers and consistent routes over the middle of the field. Moan, we've got a ton of questions lined up. Very good questions here, including about the offense, about the perception of Kenny Pickett, and so forth. And that's all going to come up in the only segment that matters.
Hey, Moan, good people.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Good stuff from everybody here.
Yeah.
A bunch of good questions piled up here. I'll get to Get Go in a minute. But my favorite thing about the Get Go read is that it's now become anticipated.
It is.
Like, this is supposed to be the annoying part of the show. Everyone's like, you forgot the Get Go read.
Oh, I'll say this, man. If the Get Go folks ain't happy with what you got going on here, DK, they might need to drop a little bit more in the pockets. Folks are begging for it right now. It's almost like an attraction in the city, man.
Phil says my hopes and exceptions are for Kenny or to be right there with the likes of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts. I know I'm shooting high. Dude, you're not shooting high. You're shooting.
Where's my airplane?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's going to be running the same kind of offense.
That's the thing right there.
Okay.
It's the same type of offense. That Andy Reid offense is legit. With what Jalen Hurts, and let's be honest about this too. Jalen Hurts is carried by a really good run game too. He's smart in his decision making. They are strategic in how they have took care of Jalen Hurts, man. And I think a lot of people misconstruing that. I'm not taking away from him. Heck, the guy had how many yards he have last year? Had 3,700 yards. Okay. 3,700 yards passing for him last year, man. That says a lot about him with 760 yards on the ground. We're not saying he's doing a whole lot. He's just working within his box. One thing they're not going to say, somewhat of a game manager with those numbers.
Yeah, it just has such a negative connotation to it. It really shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Okay, what ends up separating quarterbacks in the NFL more than anything else? It's their ability to read the field. It's their ability to adjust what they see. It's their ability to improvise when needed. People think of, when you hear improvise, people think sometimes of it's got to be Ben Street ball. Okay. No, improvise can sometimes mean you're good at your second check. You're good at your third check. You're good at seeing something that wasn't supposed to be your first check, but you pick up on it right away just by reading the safety.
The gunslinger come down to moments, DK. That's what that is. Getting out of a sack, rolling out, and hitting somebody down the field. That to me is what gunslinger is. If you think about what Peyton did, Peyton Manning.
Oh, that's all he did. He's the ultimate game manager.
He played in a system.
He was the system. He was just the whole Omaha thing, standing out there, reading the line, making sure that the crowd in Indianapolis was trained like a service dog to be quiet for him.
It, man. Like, it was quiet as a mouse when you went to Indianapolis and the offense was out there with Peyton Manning. Like, it was.
At the Get Go Cafe and Market, quality is at the core of every menu item. 3 expert chefs fine-tune every detail so that every sub, burger, salad, wrap, drink, and app is crafted for what they refer to as craveability. And they're always searching for bold new recipes and ways to improve your favorites. Order your favorite today at the Get-Go Cafe and Market. Better believe it. See, I kept that one straight.
You did. You were good on that one, DK. No fumbles or anything, man.
No, but I mean, I just didn't I didn't mess around with it. I didn't say 3 expert chefs. Moan, do you know how many chefs?
You know all this is, DK, and I'm going to just go ahead and tell our listeners right now, our followers. You want to know why you were straight and narrow?
Huh.
Because Dolly's somewhere out of this country watching you, making sure you're on good behavior.
She is not watching this program from Western Romania, I can assure you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Steven says, hey, Moan. If Steven was a member, he could have used the little hey, Moan emoji. He says,
come on, Steven.
Do you think this offense can score? And I mean, I'm presuming Steven means average 30 points per game. And that means the offense, not the team.
No.
Simply
put. And I'll give you one reason why, and it may be irrelevant to some because we're all hopeful that we see that growth. I think they're too young to understand what 30 points a game means. Like, that's just simply where I'm at.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to carry. Like, you took me to a place the other day, DK, where I was just like, gosh, Lee, this is a dark zone I'm in right now. When you started talking about how young and enthusiastic I was about getting to the Super Bowl, like, yeah, we'll be back. And then when I got the year 7 to 11, it started to get a little bit more real when we started making goals about like, hey, there's sacrifice to get 30 points. What were we, 24 points a game or 30 points a game? Like, it was real sacrifice to be able to do that. It was real understanding and maturity to get to that point too, DK.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this team has this maturity. If they get us 30 points a game on offense, boy, send me. Hey, I'll buy you a ticket to the Super Bowl, DK.
Matt Hyde says, I know that Kenny needs a little more patience in the deep ball. He has to wait on Deontay to get open. I read that a couple of different ways. If my first thought I saw waiting on Deontay gets open. Look, nobody criticizes Deontay more often and more vocally than I do, okay?
Yeah.
But he gets open.
He does get open now.
He's elite. Every metric that's available says he's top 3 in the league at getting open.
So, Matt, I appreciate your membership and you being here with us watching too. I'll say this. That trust in the pocket goes to quarterback and offensive line. I won't front. It's sometimes where we had to learn, hey, if you just block just a second longer and not move that guy out of the way, Ben is going to make that throw. Like, that actually comes down to the offensive line too, and knowing that the quarterback is going to stay in the pocket. Kenny not staying in the pocket long enough and letting the deep ball develop probably comes down to protection. So 1-to-1 right there. They work hand in hand as far as that goes, man. That's what I would say. I didn't realize how comfortable those even keel, ice cold, ice in their veins quarterbacks are, DK, when it comes to them stepping in the pocket. I challenge any one of y'all to go to the backyard and have somebody rush in front of you and see what it takes to stay in the pocket and hit a deep pass and with hands in your face.
Hands up and grunting and screaming and everything else.
Nah.
Don Klimko asks, hey, DK, what view of downtown do you like the best? Mount Washington, West End, Spring Hill, etc. Let's get yours first, Moan.
What is my favorite view? Mount Washington.
Yeah,
easily.
You've been
Mount
up on
Washington
the pods.
is beautiful. There's a restaurant up top on Mount Washington. You can get a view of the city easily. Mount Washington, hands down. Although going up the lift is a little sketchy at times, baby.
Yeah, it feels like it's 170 years old. The Duquesne Incline and the Mon Incline are 2 of the oldest functioning inclines in the world.
Yeah.
My favorite view of downtown, Dan, and if you know me, you knew this answer, is from within.
You love downtown.
We have the most beautiful skyscrapers from within. Old classic churches from the 1800s that are kept in great shape. A mix of old and new buildings and architecture. Listen, our skyline didn't get to be the skyline because somebody painted it.
No.
Okay. It's a real thing right outside our door.
I'll tell you this too. The view from the North Shore is phenomenal too. Yeah. Over there by the big water spout.
But nobody took it seriously until PNC Park was built. Nobody ever talked about the view from that side. And then they opened the baseball stadium and everyone was like, whoa, ultimate skyline. It's like this was here all along.
I've biked from the facility all the way down to the waterfront, man, all the way around and back towards what is it? West Mifflin. Like the bike paths in Pittsburgh are phenomenal too. Just if you're ever into that type of stuff and in the city.
Getting better all the time. And that also includes downtown. We have entire roads that are dedicated now. to bike lanes. Here's a good one from Toy, as long as we're off of football here for a moment. It says, hey, Moan, what's your favorite terrible for you air fryer snack? My son is really into the air fryer.
Easily. And I had to realize this. It's either French fries or wings. Ain't even a close second into those two.
You can do fries in an air fryer. They come out like fries.
Fire. You want to hear me? Oh, man, those two are really good. Wings is a guilty pleasure.
My son makes, what do you make in the air fryer? Those chicken things? Honey chicken nuggets.
Oh, wow.
Sounds
fancy.
You can't stop.
You
can't stop. And he comes out of there like looking like a real chef. These things are like sizzling a little bit. And you're like, wow.
Sticky B. Speaking of sizzling, Sticky B right here. Pizza rolls. You want to talk about something hot coming out? I hadn't had pizza rolls in forever, though. Oh, man. That burns your mouth just thinking about it.
No. Mr. B. Malarkey says, hey, Moan, my hair is gray from all of these 13 to 12 wins inside the division. Please tell Mr. Malarkey why those mean all the same. In fact, they're even prettier.
They are prettier because you have the moxie to be able to strain out wins, man. Look at this gray in mine, man. I got some of it's trimmed off. It's in there. You know what, Mr. B. Malarkey? A dub is a dub is a dub as a dub is, okay?
And then inside the division?
Big time dub, okay? I feel you. And it was stressful to me too. Heck, I stayed up late after games. Like, why didn't we just blow them out?
See, the NFL films footage that they had of Mike Tomlin walking off the field with Najee Harris after the win in Baltimore near the end of the season. Mm-hmm. He's lost his voice. And he says to Najee, he's going, man, we grew up tonight. We grew up tonight.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Only in Baltimore.
You need them scars, man. Yeah. You need them scars. Are they the only team in the AFC North too with a band, by the way? Or do everyone have? I don't know why I remember Baltimore's more than
they have a band for sure.
You got a friggin' band in Baltimore, okay? Nothing better than the steel line, though.
It's the only thing the Ravens didn't copy from the Steelers.
Crazy. And they got cheerleaders, too, I think. That might be another thing.
I think they have cheerleaders
well, we don't have cheerleaders in Pittsburgh.
No, we will not be having. Although we did like in the 60s or something.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
They were the Steelerettes or something like that. Somebody can put that up on the board here.
Wow, DK.
Steelerettes, or I don't remember what they were called. It was something that would probably not fly today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, we got a few folks asking, DK, man, will you drop that link, man? I got Fear the Six. What are the steps to become a member?
You have to find the join button after you've hit like and you've hit subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
We have a link for you that we're going to put up here. And I'm looking for it here. That'll show you. Oh, here it is. It wasn't starred. Okay, to unlock the Ramojis.
Ramojis, baby.
Become a member. The first thing that you have to do, here's the order to it. You have to subscribe to the channel. Okay, yes. That's easy. That you can find that anywhere.
That's free.
Yeah. After you do that, that subscribe button turns into a join button. Okay, this is on desktop. It's a little bit more complicated. Or just save yourself all the trouble and just find this thing that we just put across the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
Yeah. That URL, youtube.com/@DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers /join. You'll be able to pull that off without any trouble at all from any device. That works magically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you want proof of that? Watch this.
I'm in there right now.
Cat Manada.
I love it.
It's a YouTube member now.
I love that, man.
Look, Moan is a member. What do you know?
Even I'm in here, man. Absolutely,
and
man.
As proof of that, Ramon has all kinds of emojis coming at us here. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. Somebody, we're trying to see if we have any references to the Steelerettes. It says Steelerettes, says Joe Message at Pitt Stadium. There were never cheerleaders at Three Rivers.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No, this is something that, somebody else says Steelerettes. This is not how to spell Steelerettes. This probably is right here.
Yeah, that looks more 70s to me.
Yeah. Mr. Shear says, my former student was a Ravens cheerleader.
Yeesh. Okay. I mean, they work really hard jobs and stuff like that to get those roles and stuff. So,
see, I'm not falling for this bend over thing here. These are all Fletch jokes. Okay. So I'm gonna say random guy with the M icon.
What's up, Ben?
I'm all wise now. I got played once this week. Although the other one was way funnier. Hey, Moan. Najee and George Pickens went full villain in Baltimore this past season at the end of the game. Do you think this new era of Smash Mouth football will bring on a bad boys attitude? If it wasn't for your name here, this would have been the question of the day.
Mr. Ben, awesome question and name. Do I think the new era?
He stole the line here. Okay, I have to share it because it's from Fletch, a Chevy Chase movie. And Fletch gets thrown into prison, and there's this big burly looking dude in the cell, and the guy says, and Fletch says to him, "Hi, my name is Fletch. What's your name?" And he says, "Bend over." And Fletch goes, "Ben, nice to meet you."
I've seen Fletch. Fletch is a really good movie, by the way, too. But this is where I'm at on this, though, Ben. I'll get to your question and answer it, man, is this. I do think the NFL is about to start transitioning a little bit, moving over to the run first side of the game. I'm not a conspiracy theorist enough to believe that, look, they don't want to pay quarterbacks and stuff like that. I just look at it as like equal or opposite reaction. This has become such a pass-friendly league where the quarterback is overly protected, and you got guys that really are talented coming out of college that can run the football, and they need ways to exploit that. The idea that the NFL and Coach Tomlin has been one of the biggest advocates, DK. I'm sure you've heard him say this. This is a big man's game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Ben, honestly, that's why I think they are. I think the utilization of Najee is huge. I think the way they've set themselves up offensively on the front line, and this is the portion of it too, I think is the quietest part that can't be said too loud, is you have an aging or getting older defense that you may have to spare a little bit more. So why not do that with youth and running the ball on the other side of the line? Like, I'm not calling them older, but I just think where we at offensively with depth, I'm not sure it's overly confident that they have that same amount of visceral on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, I just think if we get back to what Andy Weidel said, the phenomenal quote about imposing your will on other teams, that's the mindset right now. To go back to the original question, I don't see how you would avoid it. I don't see how you would avoid going into Baltimore and having the attitude that Najee and George showed, especially Najee with the fans. Remember, Najee went up to somebody. There's somebody in the crowd was waving some purple hanky at him or something, and he just grabbed it away from him.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like
in their house.
In their house, like that's just the mindset of it. And right now, you got a young, vibrant team, man, that's really trying to go get it. I love the fact that they're moving over towards it, because the idea that you can just beat somebody up into submission, we've always thrived in those areas, right, DK? I've told you the stories of telling defensive linemen, hey, we're running the ball right here. Like, imagine if this team get back to that point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we keep getting the double entendres here. People, grow up. Seriously.
What does it say, DK? What does it say?
I'm not reading it out loud. Ken Moses says, "Hey, Moan, who was that high-energy guy? That one high-energy guy who got on your nerves in practice?"
One high-energy guy. Man, as a young guy watching the older dude, Larry Foote. God,
really?
Foote.
Well, I would have guessed that in a million years.
Was an agitator, man. Like, always ready to go. Always, like, Foote got me one time, man, and I bought this truck. And Foote, he was looking in the truck. He asking me all the questions. Hey, man, what about this model? What did you like about this? Why don't you like that other type of truck right there? He walks into the dorms one night. Hey, man, you know your truck ain't no platinum. Like, you got the Lariat version of it. I'm like, Foote, I got a platinum. Like, what are you talking about, man? You got the same truck. It's like, yours ain't like mine. And he just full of it all the time. Like, Foote was like that.
What was wrong with your truck?
It was the same one as his. Foote just like to mess and like tick people off. Another guy that was like that, and that is my brother, man. But Ryan Clark was like that. Like, we never really came to blows or anything like that. Just RC he was appreciative of the game. So he was constantly just like, I was too tired and being too physical to be that type of hype all the time, man.
Good stuff. Steely McBeeman says that guy who Najee did that to, meaning who took the purple towel from, made a TikTok about it. So he took his lick and he laughed at himself, which is that's good for him, man. Seriously, if I'm in Cleveland and I'm in the end zone and I'm waving a terrible towel or whatever, and one of the Browns came and grabbed it away from me, and I've got it on camera.
Yeah,
believe me, I'm not taking it hard.
No doubt about it. You got to run with it in today's game, 100%, man. Absolutely.
Daniel Pike says, hey, Moan, with another year of maturity and the additions of Darnell Washington and Broderick Jones, do you feel that the Steelers' red zone efficiency will improve? I have something to say about this one when you're done.
I'll take this one real quick. What gets me is this, DK, is those two names that you mentioned, Darnell Washington and Broderick Jones, they're young rookies, and I hope their emphasis on them being on the Steelers team in 2023, if all goes well and no injuries and whatnot, that when they get to the red zone, they slowly punch it into the end zone by running. Like, efficiency to me is getting 6, right? Plus the extra point after that. I don't care how they get in.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here armed with next-gen stats on this, but I'm going to say something from perception of having covered all these games, and maybe someone can support me on this. When the Steelers got inside the 10, they scored.
Yeah.
That was one of the very few good things you could say about, A, the Matt Canada offense, and B, Matt Canada's imagination, because they also ran some really different-looking plays down there. Okay? Yeah. I am not one to say nice things about Matt Canada. But once they were in the 10, that's where most teams stall when they get into the red zone. Mm-hmm. It's when they're the tightest. And his teams didn't, because they didn't really throw much.
That's so true, though. Like, getting the amount of times, I love to know it, and we'll have to get our research department or something at that point. But how many times we got to that tight red and went forward on 4th down, DK? It's simply because, like, it's so much harder to get in on that. And at that time, too, that era we were in, like, we were throwing the ball more times than not. Remember the whole 7 shots conversation we've always had. Most of those plays was rut.
Yeah, two pointers.
It was 2 pointers and passes.
Yeah.
It was 2 pointers and passes, man.
Which Ben loved, and Ben
was
loved
good
practicing. And then he convinced your head coach to become obsessed with the 2 pointers. And then the 2 pointers became something that they felt like they were a staple of every single practice.
They were, DK.
Yeah.
Every single practice it was. But what it also did was put us in a competitive spirit, too, because it really was one of those types of things where nobody wants to lose that in a tight red zone. Like, you want to get into the end zone, and defense want to keep you out, man. That really made us grow up. It really did.
Robert says, hey, DK and hey, Moan, do you see the Steelers finishing 12-5 this season if everything comes together like it should?
I'll give us 10 plus. Whether it's 12-5, where your losses at is where I got to ask the question. The one thing we have going for us, we're not playing that first place schedule this year. There's opportunity for a team to be able to do that, Robert, but it's going to be a situation where a lot of guys got to grow up, and I'm talking specifically about the rookies too.
When you're talking about the younger team, you made this point earlier in the week, and it's worth bringing up again. You're talking about ceiling. You're talking about stuff that you just don't know, and I can mean that either in a good or a bad context.
That's very true.
But, when your ceiling includes a guy like George Pickens, who's yet to be utilized, I was about to say utilized properly. He's yet to be utilized. And you're throwing in a 2 tight end set in which Pat Freiermuth might be your second option.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? There's your brother.
Yeah, that's my brother in here, man. He's checking us out today, man. The big rat good. I see you, Slay. I see you, Savage. I got one. He must be on commercial break right now. Yeah, he's on commercial break right now. He's doing his show and watching our show, DK.
That is multitasking. He already multitasks for a living.
He's everywhere, man. I'm telling y'all, watch him. He's going to be a star. I got one star, DK, I want to go to, man. Mm-hmm. Is this one right here? Give me 1 second. I'm going through the favorites. I just saw it, DK. Wow, we got a lot. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. That's why.
That'll do it.
That's why I'm not a pro at this, DK.
What are you looking for?
It was a question. What was? Oh, here we go. From my guy James Lawson.
Okay.
He goes, "Hey Moan, what do you think would be the focus in camp? 2-minute drill, no huddle. First focus, like developing a tough skin. He's way too talented to be soft.
I was going to say competition, but we're probably talking about the same thing.
We're the same thing, yeah. Developing the tough skin. It's going to be a brutal camp in my mindset. It's too young of a team. They got too many veteran guys on the other side that know how to beat up young dudes, right? I think that's going to be a very fascinating makeup of what exactly this team is going to be through the war of attrition of going back and forth for one another. This also, to me, I do think I won't go no huddle just yet. But we spoke about what Kenny Pickett needs to do as far as being able to or capable of winning games from behind. I would like to see, DK, you reporting on that because you go to camp, because you're a Big J journalist out here. Hey, Kenny Pickett has the ability. They won 2 minutes today. Can you imagine like winning 2 minutes against this defense with a Hall of Famer like Pat Peterson, potentially Minka on the backside with Cam up front, TJ up front? Like, imagine them winning 2 minutes, DK.
Well, you win 2 minutes, you want to win 7 shots. And what you also want to do is make sure that if you're one quarterback, especially now that you've got 3 NFL quarterbacks in the fold, meaning 3 guys with NFL experience.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think of Mitch or Mason, they've got NFL experience. There's a little bit of a competition that goes on there too.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but competition is what you want to see. That competition, let me rephrase that, is what the head coach wants to see. That does involve being physical. That does involve lines like what he gave to Ramon when Ramon was really young. And Ramon got his rear end kicked early on in the process. And what did the head coach say to you?
Don't take it.
Don't take it.
Every day for like 3 years. And he didn't have to say it after the first day, but it's that repetition of confidence in a person to every single day at practice, DK. I wish I would have documented it how many times he said, hey, Moan, don't take it. And I wasn't taking it a whole lot, DK, in camp.
Sergio says, hey, Moan, DK, my first live Steelers game is going to be against Baltimore on October 1. I hope we don't lose. Is it crazy cold in October in Pittsburgh? What is everybody talking about? With Pittsburgh being cold, people who've left here or who have never been here have this image of our city being really cold and getting all kinds of snow. I don't even remember the last time it snowed here.
It has been mild there for the most part, man.
Yeah, there's a thing called climate change, and maybe we're the only city on earth that's benefited from it, but we have.
But Sergio, I would tell you this, man, you're going to be fine. Like, as far as the cold, October is perfect for me. That's when the leaves are changing just then, and you may get a little bit of a crisp, but I don't think it's going to be frigid at that point in time. And this is the other thing too, DK. The NFL shows images of Pittsburgh being cold. That's why they think Pittsburgh is a tundra.
But they also show images of steel mills. At Monday, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
and you see these steel mills. Do you know how many steel mills we have inside city limits?
None.
0.
Well, I will say this though, DK. As somebody that was foreign to Pittsburgh before I signed as undrafted free agent, that was the one thing I was fearful of. So the cold, boy, it's gonna be cold. That's the first thing I said.
So cold.
No.
We have both of our doors are open here today.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and call you out. I'm gonna go ahead and call you out just because, DK, you acting like we're not tough out here. Who's sitting inside of a building with a hoodie on?
I put the AC on to try to make everybody comfortable.
We got you. It's cool.
This is just good, smart retail, Moan.
Yeah. You sitting in there, DK, with a hoodie on.
That's all it is. Well, speaking of stars, which we weren't, Marvin Wallace comes in and says, hello.
Hey, Marvin.
Hey, Big Moan.
Hey,
it's Marvin from the Uncle's Table.
Yeah.
See, the coolest thing about Marvin is he paid his way off the Uncle's Table. He's still sitting there. He's not big timing the other people at the Uncle's Table. Okay?
Yeah.
He's just saying, if I wanted to get off the Uncle's Table, I could do it.
Hey, M-Dub, Senior. Hey, I'm a fan of yours, just so you know that, man. You're a big dog in my books.
Matt Hyde says, Ramon, if you could give advice to Broderick Jones, and I'm sure you guys will touch base at some point, what would it be that would help him? And also accepting that he's a tackle and you are a guard.
I would tell him this. Losing ain't bad in the NFL. Meaning in camp. Get your scars as quick as you possibly can. Cam is 32 years old. TJ is late 20s. Alex Highsmith's been in the league for a while. You kind of supposed to get beat a little bit. but don't let that bother you. Move on to the next day. The NFL is a quick in and out type of mindset each and every play. Football is like that too. But in college, you get the grace of being the best guy on the field or the best guy on your team or a top 5 recruit where you rarely get beat. This guy, this young man, Broderick Jones, has 0 sacks in the last 2 years, DK.
Yeah, he doesn't know failure.
He don't know failure.
He will.
Don't let that consume you.
But he
what
will.
I would tell him.
He will. He's going to get beat.
100%. You've been the man all year. Don't let that get to you. The same way Coach Tomlin told me, hey, Mom, don't take it. It bothered me losing like that. That's okay. Eat that crap up. Like, move forward, man. That's what I would tell him.
Wade says, I really want Mason Rudolph to embrace being the number 3 quarterback. Wade, take it to the talk shows, man. That's all they talk about are backup and third-string quarterbacks because those are the only names that they know.
Yeah.
We dig a whole lot deeper here. I don't even want to entertain that one. Marv says, I see 17-0 this year.
7, oh boy. So go ahead and play that. Lay that bet down if you believe it.
Put that money down. I'm sure we have a lot of people.
I got one, DK. It's pretty good, man, from my friend Luis. He said, hey, Mon, shout out from Rio de Janeiro. Like that. Okay. Who do you guys think could replace Cole at center in case of an injury? Very first question, DK. Nate Herbig, period. Nate Herbig. Like, you have your answer. We spoke about that depth a second ago, right? Like, that's okay to have some adversity, losing and stuff. Like, who is this Ramon Foster guy who's mocking you, DK? Nate Herbig.
You find time to do that.
DK, I'm multitasking over here. I'm watching us watch this and do this, okay? This is what I do, okay, DK? Multitasker. But you also got to remember this, too. No matter where and how he is in his career, you still do have Kendrick Green on your team. There is redemption available for him.
Well, James Daniels could also slide over to center as well.
There we go.
Yeah. What was the full question? Because I actually had something to say to that.
It was in case he gets hurt.
He was from. Oh, I know what.
From Rio de Janeiro.
He's from Rio. I was in Rio in 2016 for the Olympics. I was there.
Where are you?
If you parachuted me into Rio right now, like right this second,
yes,
I could walk to all 3 of their Starbucks in downtown Rio without a GPS.
Wow.
That's a gift, man.
Is Starbucks the ruler of your life, DK? I feel like
when
a lot going on.
When I travel, it has to be because I have some food allergies, so I play it really, really safe.
Okay.
So I only eat, drink whatever at Starbucks whenever I'm on the road, just to be safe.
Oh, okay.
It's a little less sexy than it might have sounded. You know?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought you was gonna say something crazy like, "Man, they got the best this or the best that."
No, they don't. They don't.
Got 3 Starbucks. DK, that was a letdown.
Sorry,
that was a letdown. Dog.
You're the one who says keep it real.
You did keep it real, but you're supposed to fabricate that a little bit when we're speaking about the Starbucks. Come on.
Ben says, "Hey, Mo and DK, no way any secondary player gets through a Darnell Washington block in space. Do you need to have him out in space though, Moan, for him to be effective?"
No, he needs to just be on the edge of the line of scrimmage.
You seen what he does to secondary guys in space? Have you seen it?
Hey, truck.
He does the no. He doesn't even. He does the engulfing thing.
Yeah.
When you go on top of them and face plant them and they stop existing.
Wait, this is a guy that embraces being an extension of the offensive line. Go check his Twitter bio. That'll tell you all you need to know about guys in the second level. And this is the thing, too. Everybody was enamored by his athletic ability. Well, guess what? He is good on the second and third level when it comes down to blocking smaller guys.
He should be an ultimate wild card for a coordinator. Did you notice I said should?
Why you say should, DK?
Because, this guy couldn't figure out how to use George Pickens.
I love when you go cynical on me, or when you go dark on me.
But I see here, okay, it doesn't have to be me. John Knox comes in. He says, what are the chances that Matt Canada has a breakout year? If Kenny breaks out this year, does it mean that Canada also broke out? That's actually a really good point. What do you think to that second one?
I think the answer is yes, unless you see a bunch of broken plays. Like the thing that's going to get Matt Canada, we talking about him being a gunslinger. Which one do you want, right? If you see this offense having a plan coming out in the first half, coming out of the second half, having the ability to book in scores, start the game with a score, don't wait against bad teams or competitive teams as you, young teams just as you, to be deep into the second quarter and not have a score. only field goals. Like, you can't have that pattern. So yeah, I'm with you, John Knox. If Kenny has a good year and he's dropping back in his health and his offense is efficient, Canada has had a good year too. I think that can correlate 1-to-1.
We're going to take just a couple more today. This one comes in from Jeff, who says, "Hey, Moan, what does Najee have to do this year to have the Steelers pick up his fifth-year option?"
I'm actually pro Najee on this one. I don't think Najee got to do a whole lot other than what he's been doing, period. Najee, to me, if he get close, I don't even think if he get less than 1,000 yards, they won't pick it up. Najee is becoming, if y'all have been looking at it, like one of this team's leaders, one of the voices. He fits the mantra of what a Pittsburgh Steeler is. I can't see a scenario in which his fifth-year option isn't picked up.
Yeah, I don't really think there's much to it. I don't think there's much, there's no mystery here. He's either going to have it picked up or he's going to get an extension or something like that.
Yeah.
I know running backs don't get those very often, but I think you're going to see something special out of him
I do
this
too.
season. And our last question for the day goes to Josh Petrick, who says, "Hey, Moan, what was that sideline like in Tampa after the Vance stiff arm?" Now, you weren't on the sideline for that play, right?
I was watching that one.
You were on the field.
We were backed up in close to the end zone.
Okay.
And we've been knowing Vance a lot, okay? Is that type of guy. We used to see him, those little, man, I didn't know you can move like that comments you make. We used to make them to Vance all the time. Vance was like a muscle, a ball of muscle, like one of the most athletic freaks I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Oh, no. He's an impressive dude.
Just authentically like athletic. And we were backed up. And honestly, I think I might have been in the quarterback lap or close to it, or we had missed the block. Something crazy went on in the end zone. And we're watching it. And he's down the sideline. It's like, okay, we got the first down. Let's move up. Then you see us all take off after he stiff-armed them. Oh, my gosh. That should be cemented in your memory right there.
It's cemented in a lot of people's memories. I'm glad for the Vanimal. That he had that moment. I know that there couldn't have been anybody on the field that would have enjoyed it more than your quarterback, though.
Yeah, no.
Because Ben Roethlisberger and Vance were really, really tight.
Really good friends, man. Absolutely. Still are. He still sends Christmas cards to me, man. Such a great dude.
Randy's going to leave us with a good one here. Go ahead.
Hey, Randy Wagner goes, "Hey, Moan, is it a real thing having a chip on my shoulder? Yes, but only if it's channeled right. You got to be able to realize your successes too. You don't have to tell many folks about that chip on your shoulder a lot. Like DK would ask me stuff, and I think my reaction would be like, man, you think I'm settling? You feel me? Like, you got to understand your positives in that. Like, chip on your shoulder honestly means I'm going to do whatever it takes to survive. And not that you doubted me, but I'm going to continue to do what it takes to survive with a little bit of edge. Yes, that is a real thing, but it can't eat you up, though, because that is a negative thought. And if you have something bad go wrong and it shuts you down, that ain't no chip on your shoulder. That is actually controlling your emotions. So, yeah.
Guys, that's all the time we have for today. Remember to become a member, and you can unlock all of the Remojis. We're going to be adding a bunch more, actually, whenever my wife comes back from Western Romania.
Yeah, absolutely, DK.
It's youtube.com/ @DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers /join. That's a long, yeah.
Just hit the link. That's all we got to do. I see a couple of them said Moan for OC. I see Sticky B, I think just second day in a row, say, hey, let's get Fast Willie Parker on. Yeah, we're gonna make it work, good people.
I'm gonna come up with a shorter URL for this tomorrow.
You gonna come up? You're not that capable, DK.
Oh yeah, you'll see.
Okay, Coder.
Yeah,
okay, Coder.
It. All right, guys, let's do it again tomorrow.
All right, DK, I'll see you here, man, for a good Friday, dog.
Oh yeah, but I'm not ready to push that last button. See, I was like all discombobulated here.
Discombobulated, man. Come on, DK. What we got going on, man? Peace.
to journalism school for this so that I could hold up a mask of the guy who's hosting the show. This is journalism 101.
This is what I get when I see DK inside of a shop with a hoodie on. He needs his favorite lion right here. That's all. I just had to, DK. That's great marketing. And I see you voted today, man. Good job.
I voted on Tuesday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I voted.
Look at that. You need I'll bring this for you up there, okay? Is that cool?
Oh yeah. Yeah, just because you'd come to visit, it'd be awesome.
No doubt, man. Let's have a good one.